This might be a bit of a hot take, but what if I told you that Garp actually did the right thing during Marineford not to save Ace? Yes, on the surface that sounds like a really horrible thing to say. I mean, why wouldn't you want to save your own grandchild? Isn't Garp just a really terrible parent? Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that you're all wrong here, because a lot of people miss the complexity of Garp. And by the end of the video, you may see Garp in a much better light. Because look, it's not as simple as Garp just freeing Ace, because no matter what option Garp chooses, whether he saves Ace or he doesn't save Ace, he is still doomed to shame, to guilt, and to pure sadness from all sides of the bloody spectrum. Because let me present to you the dilemma of Garp's burden. As much as we love Whitebeard, Ace, Luffy and all these protagonists, the Whitebeard pirates winning the war is not a good thing. That is not a good thing for the rest of the world, because most pirates raid villages, they destroy things, people, lives. That's why we need the Marines. Had the Marines lost this war, then that's the end of the world for the majority of people. A lot of you may have forgotten, but the Marines brought all of their forces from around the world. Over 100,000 Marines, 48 battleships, the admirals, vice admirals, warlords. If the Marines lost the war, then the organization itself is gone. Then evil pirates who raid villages would be free to do so with no one stopping them. So think about it from Garp's perspective. Either you save one life, Ace, or the life of millions. No matter what option Garp chooses, whether he saves Ace or whether he does not save Ace but instead saves millions of innocent lives, people are still going to hate him because he's blocked, he's trapped. There's nothing he can do here that actually gives him a win. Each option leads to people's deaths. Garp sacrificed his adopted son for the safety of the rest of the world. This is a really tricky situation for Garp, and I'm pretty sure if you were put in the same situation, it really wouldn't be an easy thing to decide. And this is the beauty of the complexity of Garp's character during Marineford. Because why, Ace? Why couldn't you just live the life that I told you to live? Why couldn't you just be a Marine? That is the only way none of this would have ever happened. And before anyone says the only way to prevent this is just to give Ace back to the Whitebeard pirates, but that's not how things work in a Yonko's world. This is exactly what happens when you mess with a Yonko's crew. Whitebeard had to fight to maintain the safety of everyone under his flag. Even if they gave Ace back, that wouldn't change Whitebeard from attacking Marineford. You don't mess with any of my sons. This was his statement to the rest of the countries under his flag, that we will fight for you no matter what. If Whitebeard didn't fight for Ace, regardless of the outcome, whether they got Ace back or not, then those countries under Whitebeard's flag lose credibility. Whitebeard loses credibility here. He has to fight. It's the same reason why the red hair pirates blew up Bartolomeo's ship. You don't mess with a Yonko's empire. Big Mom came to Wano hunting down Luffy because of the chaos he caused on Whole Cake Island. And guess what? Now we can expect that any harm done to Wano, Fishman Island, Vivi or Barto won't go unpunished by Luffy, because as a Yonko, you have to fight for the credibility of your flag. What does that say about your own empire if the country that's been attacked under your flag isn't fought for in response? That's why giving Ace back doesn't solve anything. They had to make a statement. The biggest and main lesson Luffy learnt from his fellow Yonko Shanks: you can smash a bottle of sake over my head, but the one thing I won't allow is you hurting my friends. This is what it means to run a Yonko empire, and this is the first lesson that Luffy learnt from Shanks. So Garp saving Ace before the war starts doesn't change a single thing. You don't mess with a Yonko. And I know this will be brought up, but no, Garp shouldn't just leave the Marines, because Garp knows that the enemy is not the Marines, it's Emu and the Celestial Dragons. That's who really needs to be taken down. Garp knows this. This is why Garp is working within the Marines to bring up Sword and raise the next generation. He is playing the long-term game. He isn't just running away. So yes, Garp really was trapped from all sides. Whether he saved Ace or whether he didn't save Ace, he is still doomed to pure guilt and shame. But in the end, Garp chose to save the lives of millions over his grandchild. Is that really such an evil thing to do? If you think no, Garp is evil for doing this and that he should have saved Ace, then I ask you a question. If you were in the One Piece world, let's face it, you probably would not have a devil fruit, you would not have Conqueror's Haki, you would be destroyed by the average pirate on the Grand Line. Who would you call for protection? The Marines. The Marines would be there to protect you. And if the Whitebeard pirates won that war, there are no Marines to protect you. So Garp saving Ace is the opposite of what you want in actuality. What Garp did is for the greater good. But anyway, just something to think about. Comment down below what would you do if you were in Garp's situation, and I will see you some other time.